These really are bad times for the Aam Aadmi Party and Arvind Kejriwal. Just as their popularity graph seem to be spiking in Punjab, they are surrounded by sex scandals. If it was earlier the sex CD of former Delhi Minister Sandeep Kumar, now it's an allegation by a sitting Delhi MLA of the Aam Aadmi Party that sexual favours are being sought by female candidates in Punjab in return for tickets. But will Arvind Kejriwal address all of these scandals, all of these issues that are swirling around his party? Remember, Ashutosh, a prominent leader of the party in Delhi, had written a strong blog defending Sandeep Kumar, asking why was action taken against him if the sex was consensual, and for that he's now been issued notice by the NCW.
When I'm talking about moral turpitude, to give proofs, when I'm a responsible MLA of the party, when I'm raising this with full responsibility, is it not the bounded duty of the party to take this matter seriously? And what is the issue that is going on in Punjab? Do you want to let loose people who have a reputation of this nature?
What's going on in Punjab?
The reports have come. Confirmed reports have come. People have told me.
In fact, Arvind Kejriwal did reach about an hour ago and has completely refused to address any of the concerns. This other war of words that is currently underway is the one between NCW Chief Lalita Kumar Mangalam and the convener and the spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party, Ashutosh. His article defending former party member Sandeep Kumar has put him in the line of fire. The NCW has sent him a notice asking him to reply by Friday. But Ashutosh is not taking it lying down. He's lashed out at the Women's Commission, saying that it's because of the chairperson's membership of the BJP that this kind of action is being taken against him. Also questioning whether we are living in a dictatorial and fascist state and how can his freedom of expression be curbed. Trisha Shetty, founder and CEO of She Says, now joins us. Trisha, do you think that Ashutosh owes an apology for what he wrote?
I mean, if this is a reflection of how he thinks, then of course he owes an apology for what he wrote. As an organization that I run, and even in my individual capacity, please understand that we are absolutists when it comes to consent, always factoring in between two adults engaging in sexual activity. But the problem in this case is Ashutosh's letter that he's penned down, he said things like virginity is no more a virtue. He said things like the younger generation, if people are virgins, they are not hot or cool anymore. In fact, they are unwanted and undesired. So in his, way of trying to ask people to not judge, what he has done is he is the one who's put a premium on sex. He is the one who's clearly saying, you know what, if you're a virgin, you're not cool, you're unwanted and undesired. Is that the message that they want to put out there? Even his correlation where he said the Chinese leader Mao Zedong would have been criticized severely. Please understand that Mao Zedong has been severely criticized by pundits over the years for gross atrocities against human rights. He's been, even his sexual proclivities, having sexual engagements with multiple young women. How is that okay? That is clear objectification of women. I do not understand why Ashutosh would pen such a deplorable letter.
But Trisha, then to argue the opposite, he was actually trying to tell people that we live in liberal times where things like sex should not be hyped the way he felt it was in the case of Sandeep Kumar, especially since at that time, of course now things are different, the lady has alleged rape, but at that time there was, it seemed that the sexual act was consensual.
Alright, so let me just look at the facts and issue in that case. The facts and issue was this is a Minister of Women and Child Development who is a married man who is engaging in sexual activities. Beyond all of that, he has also chosen to go ahead and film his sexual dalliances, which is a clear criminal offence right there, section 67A of the IT Act. So keeping these facts in issue, how can you then defend the minister's actions? How can you then say that this man should not be morally judged, this man should still hold on to his ministerial post? Simply keeping to the facts and issue, keeping away from the rape allegation which later came to surface. His letter also again goes ahead and continuously asks for our political parties not to be judged under a moral lens, whereas he has done exactly the same thing. He's asking for us to be liberal. I'm sorry, but saying being a virgin if you're young is not being westernized. You're basically judging people for not having sex and saying people should have sex. No moral judgment here, but what is he doing?
All right. So to say that, we are judging you for having sex is just as bad to say that you're not cool if you haven't had sex. It should be a matter of choice, shouldn't be decided one way or the other. Final question to you, Trisha. What do you think Arvind Kejriwal at this point should do? You know, if you have a sitting MLA, if we just to turn away to the other issue that now the Aam Aadmi Party is facing, you have a sitting MLA saying women in Punjab are being asked to give sexual favors in return for tickets. Should that person be dismissed as someone who's disgruntled and is making false allegations, or should that person be given the dignity of his complaints being heard and at least an investigation being done just to ensure that women aren't actually being victimized?
The problem here is when the person goes ahead and makes such statements, it's in the context of saying you guys are judging AAP for what AAP has done, but look at the other party in question. The second you put that context in, your allegations, if they may be true or false, you've automatically maligned it at the offset. Having said that, every allegation where a woman is being sexually abused must be taken into consideration and must be looked into, but the credence in the situation is lost.
All right, Fauna Tusha, thank you very much for having joined us.